Hi YouTube, it is 12:47 a.m. I am sleepy as hell, but for some strange reason, Blizzard always decides to release these things at extremely late hours for us EU Middle Eastern people. Anyways, my problems aside, we have new problems because there's a new retail patch note. There's a patch note for the season that starts tomorrow. So we're gonna go through what is coming to the game. Now guys, I will be fair. This video will just be the patch notes. There's some other stuff in here. I know they talk about the new scoreboard, the matchmaking updates. We will talk about this either on a live stream. So I'm gonna just skip down. My throat is kind of sore. I'm a little bit sick, it seems. We're just gonna go straight down to the hero update. So in general, swapping your hero hides your selection on the enemy scoreboard for 15 seconds. I know they think that this can stop or de-incentivize counter swapping by changing in spawn, but this does not do what they think it does. The problem with counter swapping now is people have kind of memorized the matchups. The most prominent where the problem of counter swapping is the tank role, and tank has been rock paper scissors for the entirety of 5v5. So I don't see this solving that problem. Yes, this can probably solve the two tanks staying in spawn and constantly swapping for sure, maybe, but you can still take a wild guess usually most of the time. Regardless, this is an okay change. I don't have anything good or bad to say about it. It's like, yeah, sure, we can have it, whatever. On the other side, on the tank side of things, we have Mauga. I don't like looking at this. I haven't gone through everything just yet. I will try to avoid seeing everything and keep my eyes to the top and my cursor and go from there. Or cursor, excuse me. So Mauga Incendiary Chain Gun. Ignite damage over time duration increase from 3 to 4 seconds. Developer comment is increasing the duration of Mauga's burn will help better reward going for the smaller hard to hit targets. Okay, here's my problem with this. The idea is correct, but the problem is when the devs made Mauga, they specifically said they wanted like they're okay with having more tank buster tanks. Mauga was designed with the idea of being a tank buster. Why is it a surprise to them that the tank buster doesn't have good matchups against squishies? Regardless, what they don't also realize is when Mauga is burning a target, they take crit damage. What this basically means is any target that Mauga is gonna burn now is gonna take the crit damage 1 second longer. This is still a direct buff for Mauga into tank matchups regardless. If I'm not mistaken with how Mauga's kit works, that's how it works, right? The burn gives the crit all the time. I've been taking a break from Overwatch, so I don't necessarily remember, but I'm fairly certain I'm not wrong on this. So moving on. Moving on, we got Ramattra with Pummel. So this is interesting. No longer pierces barriers, now deals 2.5 times the damage to barriers. Okay, I understand what they're trying to do here, but this is just wrong. This is fundamentally changing how Ramattra plays the game. I don't hate this change. I don't like this change. I'm extremely neutral. I want to see how this feels, but I will say one of the coolest parts of Ram was that he was the one guy who could pierce through barriers, right? And hypothetically, if we did go to 6v6 and somehow if a double barrier meta was to happen, Ramatra would be an answer to that. The fact that we've kind of stripped him of that unique identity that, I've been talking about in this channel, that characters are losing their identity for no reason. This is another one of those examples. So what is their developer comments? They say Ramatra's pummel projectiles passing through barriers was a source of frustration for players trying to protect themselves or their ally. With this change enabling Ram to deal crit damage to barriers, he'll still be a valuable hero choice against the barrier mechanics, but won't immediately apply damage to players on the other side. See, like, this is kind of stupid. Like, oh, people are getting frustrated that Ram can punch them through walls. It doesn't matter that much if you know how to position yourself well to when Ramatra makes his push. Like, he enters Nemesis form, he gets really big, he starts walking over to you across the map, you know that he's coming. So if you're Ryan, Winston, these are the only characters with a barrier, or Brigitte, this is like a massive buff to you, especially Brigitte. She can actually tank Ramatra's punches, maybe even trigger Inspire and then get away. So it's this is like the problem is these are the type of changes that babyfy the game one way or the other. You're making certain interactions easier in a way, and this is basically one of that. I don't know how to feel about this, honestly. I would say I'm not a fan. I think Ram having that was a big part. And honestly, I've never seen anybody directly complain. I don't know where this comes from, that people are saying it's a frustrating, like, point. If anything, it's Ramattra's block that's really frustrating to play against. Reinhardt. Oh, did he got nerfed? Barrier field HP reduced from 16. Wait, what? Barrier field health reduced from 1600 to 1500? This is some fine tuning for the barrier health and the regeneration rate, and it became slightly too tough to break through. Hold on, who struggles against Reinhardt in 2024, dude? Rein is the easiest tank to not only pressure or like slow down, but he's also like one of the most healthiest tanks to play against. I understand it can be annoying to sometimes see Rein all the time, but the dude is just fun. Like, we have to pick our poison. I don't know. I don't think this is that bad, but this is a bit weird. At least it's not 1400. Oh shit, Hanzo. Oh my god. And it's just one change. HP back to 250. Developer comments were reverting Hanzo back to his previous HP. Now it's possible to take out imposing Hanzo with a well-aimed headshot thanks to weapon damage. Why did this have to happen a few weeks later and not in the same patch? Did they just kind of forget that that was a change that they made? It's just so weird. Sojourn. Okay, before we get into Sojourn, Sojourn's been one of the worst DPSs in the game. She genuinely needs a lot of help, so I hope to see something interesting for her. So, Railgun energy no longer stops degenerating at 25 energy. Okay. Time before energy degeneration begins increase from 7 to 12 seconds. Okay. Disruptor shot damage per second increase from 60 to 80. So this is her E, by the way, in case you guys don't know. Disruptor shot is the E, the big like circle that she throws up. Now generates 25% of damage done to enemy players as a railgun energy. Oh. So they just want to help increase the... Okay, so it's a bit of a power distribution thing going on. Okay, I'm open-minded to this. I will give them that. I'm open-minded to this. Ooh. Ooh, this is big. This is the Sombra rework. And we're gonna have to revisit this. I think I'll save this for the end because it's huge. Support Baptiste. Oh no. Oh my god, oh, they buffed him. What are they thinking? Biotic launcher primary fire recoil reduced by 30%. Developer comment is that this change is aimed at reducing the fatigue resulting from controlling the recoil over longer periods of play more than trying to add power to Baptiste's primary fire. With all due respect, what kind of bullshit excuse is this? This is the most pandering I've ever seen towards the support role. This is something that's there industry-wide, gaming-wide. Controlling recoil is a skill in a game. Why is the one thing that's like a skillful part of Baptiste we're trying to reduce it? The fatigue resulting from controlling the recoil over longer periods of play. Dude, what do you mean? Like, who complained about this? Baptiste has been around since Overwatch 1. Like, what? There's no way people can tell me that Overwatch 2 isn't a baby-fied version of Overwatch 1. They just keep trying to make the game easier one way or the other. Like, especially, like, with all due respect, I love my support players out there. But, like, guys, come on, there's no denying it that they try to make support easier every patch. Speaking of supports, Brigitte repair pack cooldown increased from 5 to 5.5. Why? Developer comment, Brigitte's healing output over the course of a match is quite high, so this is a slight adjustment to help bring that in line. How can you be so disconnected from your game and not realize the reason Brigitte's healing output over the course of a match is quite high is because of Inspire and not Repair Pack? Repair Pack is a complement to how Brigitte plays the game, and it's supposed to help enable dives or as an emergency, let me quickly heal up my tank because he's taking too much damage shit. Her healing power is in Inspire. You know, the invisible thing that nobody can see. Well, you know, I shouldn't put it past these developers. It's incredibly likely that they don't even know Inspire is a thing, because they just don't even know that because it's invisible. They don't even know that it's a thing. Inspire is probably just this like random passive that Brigitte has that does, like, I don't know, it makes her shield bigger or something, and they completely forgot that she actually triggers healing off of it. We need to visualize Inspire so people can see how ridiculously overpowered it is, and the numbers on Inspire are pretty damn good. Now, I will be fair to Brigitte in one sense. D.Va is still pretty damn strong, and one of the reasons Brigitte is seeing an increase in play rate and play time is because of D.Va. We don't need to unnecessarily nerf Brigitte any further until Diva gets out the meta, because then naturally Brigitte will fall off too. I hope they are thinking of these things. Otherwise, like, what are we doing? Making more and more characters clunkier. It's just not the way to to approach the game, in my opinion. Again, if I was changing Brigitte to tone down her power a little bit, maybe I'd reduce the healing numbers by like 5 on Inspire, not Repair Pack, and see, and just kind of leave her and see how it goes from there. Juno, Meta Blaster. Oh boy, here we go. So Juno's hard meta. At almost every level of play, you can play Juno and get so much value off of her. What I want to see before I read these changes, what I want to see, I'm just gonna like glance away. What I want to see from Juno's changes is they need to address her rockets. They actually have a pretty decent uptime, but the numbers on them really help complement Juno's playstyle during a team fight, securing kills, etc. etc. So let's see how the devs approach it. Juno's Medi Blaster fall off range has been reduced from 30 to 50 meters to 20 to 30. Jesus, what? This is ridiculous. Oh my god. This is huge. It's a huge fall off range nerf. Healing per projectile reduced from 6.5 to 6. Developer comments. Oh, I mean, okay, like this is interesting. Developer comments Juno's healing output was too high for how much mobility she possesses, so we're shortening her fall off range to increase the importance of positioning well with her mobility abilities. You know, this is like some of the worst way you could tell people anything. Yeah, you guys know Juno can move a lot. Yeah, that's kind of the reason why we're nerfing her healing. That makes no sense. Like, you should say something like Juno's healing output is too high for how much she can draw out fights, so we're shortening the fall off range in order for Juno to position closely to her team, increasing the window of punishment. Something like that. You don't just say something like, hey guys, Juno moves around a lot, so she should have low healing. That makes no sense, man. Come on now. Like, you guys get where I'm coming from, right? Like, maybe I'm not getting my point across. I don't know how to feel about this. I putting Juno in the 20 to 35 meter range for her fall off, that is certainly a choice. That is a very interesting choice. And here's the thing, guys. Mediblaster's fall off range, it's not just the healing. This hurts her damage potential too. Juno was already one of the worst characters in the way that she took duels in the game. And I think this has hurt Juno's DPS like crazy. Juno's gonna, like, you can practically not DPS on Juno. I'm gonna play her to feel it out. But good lord, I feel like this is done too much on purpose, and they'll put it back to like 25 to 40. Like, they'll balance it out in the middle, because that's kind of what they do now. Okay, the last thing we need to talk about is Sombra, and then we're gonna end the video. Sombra, where is she? Ah, here we go. So Sombra. Oh boy, so this is Sombra's big rework. God knows how many reworks she's gone through. So hack. No longer ends stealth, but does reveal Sombra. Hacked ability, lockout effect duration reduced from 1.5 to 1.0. EMP duration is unchanged. Bob hack stun duration reduced from 10 to 3. Come on, man, this is stupid. How many indirect buffs is Bob gonna get? And Ash is already a good hero. Like, Ash has been an A tier pick forever. Stealth no longer passive and now activates by using Translocator. Oh, so Sombra only can go invis if she uses Translocator. Now has a 5-second duration, added stealth timer around the reticle and removed ability icon. Taking damage now reveals Sombra for 1 second instead of ending stealth. Oh, this is... Ooh, this sounds weird on paper. Translocator cooldown went up to 7 seconds. EMP cost increase. Can they just decide, like, they decreased it by 12% and now they increased it by 12%? Like, decide where you want the EMP to be. Opportunist. The opportunist passive is back. Increase Sombra's weapon damage versus hack targets by 20%. See critically. I mean, this is practically irrelevant now, but oof. This is very interesting. This is really interesting. I don't know what to say. I on paper I feel like this is a big net nerf. There's some matchups that this does buff. Technically against Ball she's gonna be much stronger. But if she's weaker into the Widowmaker matchup, it's gonna be really scary. However, the hack targets taking 20% increased damage is also pretty damn good. Excuse me, that's an error on my part. I don't know. This is certainly the most question mark patch of all time. This is the most unique or awkward patch notes we've ever gotten, because almost every change is kind of like, okay, sure, or just okay, why? So let's give a rating. Mauga change. Feel like people don't realize Mauga is the next tank that's getting like micro buffed. So not a fan. This is gonna be a no from me. Ramattra change. He loses a really unique identity, and I just don't like the way they've changed Ram over here. I think this might actually hurt Ram a lot more than they think. Not a fan of this. Reinhardt changes whatever. Ryan's pretty strong, so it's okay. Like new armor, headshot reduction, all that shit helps Ryan quite a bit. So I don't think this is gonna hurt Ryan that much. Hanzo, this was much needed, but I'm not gonna give them points for something that should have been there a while ago. Railgun, really open to these changes. I think these are nice. Let's try this version of Sojourn, see how she feels. This is good, thumbs up. Sombra change is a bit of a hit and miss at the same time. I have a lot to say, but rather than blindly talking about it, I'm gonna first play this version of Sombra and then give my opinion. Baptiste change is a huge no. Baptiste change is a big problem. This is really bad. This is really bad. This basically means he's going to be 30% more consistent with the way he does his damage on anybody who's decent with their aim. Brigitte change is just the wrong way to approach Brigitte. Again, I've said this for every character. I don't care which character it is. You cannot always approach a character from the POV of making them clunkier. Sometimes it's their raw numbers or it's a different part of the kit. In Brick's case, it's always been Inspire. Nerf AoE healing. Repair pack is single target healing. Anyways, Juno's change is a massive question mark too. I personally think the homing beacon rocket should be the one to be nerfed, not necessarily her Mediblaster. This just puts more emphasis and pressure on Juno to be really good with her right click uptime. And I'm not a fan of that because again we're nerfing the skillful part of her kit, which is the Mediblaster. We're nerfing the skillful part of her kit because we're nerfing Mediblaster, which is basically, you know, aim, like you have to aim with it, but we're not nerfing the part of the kit that they over buffed on her right click. So this is my opinion. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say, and sorry for the throat clearing, the coughs, or anything like that. I do think I am kind of sick. So with that being said, I'm gonna go finally get some rest. It's 1 a.m. See you guys in the next one.